no. Abibia to abayi for it, beba be we no. Ayaba be say do so no cry the ballon no je no. E the boy no pushing you ra.
Sema okay na. Ya me jam. For awards. Say the AC call. And they said I want for air chiro madrid. For awards, no award people they names and home the nimbo on the ball. Year under review. That is maybe argument. That is where I'm coming from. I'm not blaming Obia. I'm just saying that awards are yen Obia said the AC call the AC awards. Come here, say it's about how popular you are. Obi pe wasem. That is how I see yes I know. That is what I'm saying. Because when Adia would eat me to be as a ballon d'or no better second. Now Yamal crabby D anymore. That is to tell you say the sequoia. So that is where I'm coming from. And I still maintain, I still stand by it. Say awards, say the AC quality the CF football awards. Yeah, award the more said women bornable. Because you wow pen as him. Yeah, we are done. Yeah, winning the war by Bako and out to a man. And that is how no man ends with me. So still, I think that.
Well, I can't talk to the Messi Ronaldo.
Yeah,
I can't get to 16.
They are too popular.
Depends on how you've been popular over the year. And currently, there is no football big name than Lamine Yamal, either for bad or for good reasons. He being why watching Lamine Yamal. And he's becoming the biggest name in football currently. That is how I see it. The Bonnie Dean chain will be for obvious reasons. You know, I think they are definitely what to me, I the way I know my sequel. And of course, Obama team Cassia, Obama of the national team almost sign one numbers. So what I say, Osan is being managed by one of the top not managers who we as agents near there. So these things it will come. And I think he deserves whatever he's enjoying. And Yamal Abaso for that wonderful job. Kogu, my catch so many times Italy football no good. But when I say own team I say, but gradually the way I normally see kono sana Asia kwakoye. If you watch Napoli and Frankfurt, you could clearly see aside Antonio Conte being a manager that when he come to Europe on perform, not one I said the mentality and the Champions League, will be no crown and yadia a war to be a friend Napoli. And that is to tell you the path we are on, the Italian football was on. You will have a long way to go and Sani Yetimiaka say the UEFA Champions League maybe. And that is where looking at how our teams need dominate here, almost see core Europe still BBNTMNC. Because over in the last 10 years, two teams now dominate Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Juventus dominated at a point in time.
Yeah.
Went to Champions League final twice. One against Barcelona, one against Real Madrid. Mm-hmm. None of them any team here with my own team Juventus. Inter Milan also went to the Champions League final. They dominated Serie A, won Serie A titles and went to Europe. Went to the final twice against Manchester City and against Paris Saint-Germain. They lost to teams that no money be that. That is to tell you we are number you free banner there. We've lost our identity and it seems you pay us near you and we are going to suffer for that. Team that are more dominated we are will come out and it's like Ghana and your teams will going to Africa.
Yeah.
The only difference in here the Italian football, some way, somehow, find themselves at the finals. But don't do final now. Now, I hear something which is there. And I think that watching Napoli, now I'm seeing from the best Miami Juventus squad, and I Miami Juventus. No, I sat down and I was like, nah, this is not Juventus. There is nothing like Juventus about this team. We were winning and playing with ordinary players that over outside Italy. So to speak, but they gave consistent performance. Bonucci, Chiellini, Lesteinamo, Marquis, is it Marquis? Yes, Pogba, Kaku. Now we have here Desmo, we have here Kelly Mo, McKenny Mo, but still, you don't see that Italian football Juventus spirit, no. Beautiful ladies, but I was like, nah. They say, ye bebre and kwagu said yesi koya yi kakra na wo ye team ni mo ye yesebofo no o be san bese so mako because if you look at the team now can I hear there's more than one hour born so what team say Europe now they will need a player of his profile and they will come and get him away. He's a left-footed player, me boy.
Yeah.
She Europe, na fu ani hwehwe mu a. Teams ni bebre no from next season will try to look out for a left-footed player in his shape, in his caliber. Liverpool will probably be losing Salah, so they want to go out and get a player of the kind. If you look at Real Madrid front line, omo mboni na na right. Ada gule nya na yes and tentenwa fu ni bia. Master Antonio will take a bit of a time. And if they want someone away Europe or what taste European football, they will look at this guy. The teams will come at us. No matter if I can, want to sign the cup because we are not performing. You to Tonyoma and I say from the man Italian football. In Tamland, because we are kakra in China. No one is talking about finance channel. Now we be at my account. Italy football in here. And we are going to suffer. You better break pants and yet me back. You look at the way I know my chickona and yet something yesterday was keeper's game. It's the more reason why and never buy money I saw goalkeepers doing wonders. This is a year Paris Liverpool and a team of Real Madrid. Thibaut Courtois did everything he could do for the team of Real Madrid. Sometimes keepers near saves are more break. Sometimes some years saves I on break. But he did what you expect to a goalkeeper, a top-notch goalkeeper that he is. Because if you look at him, he didn't come out the first goalkeepers be brave who we are say the former goalkeepers won't buy a chum or in recent times now Courtois consistently said he's on that table. That's he get discussion now. Is it to me discuss? He won the league with team of Chelsea. He did his best to let Madrid or buy Madrid. He is showing only be there to prove again. So he's a top-notch goalkeeper. And if he retires today, sa podium one. Now they are before mo or the Casillas mo medina. You can also get a bunch of Thibaut Courtois. Peter Cech mo medina. You can also bring him to that table. He's done everything he needs to do to get to that level. And I think that he's doing well. The saves were the point blank saves now with me here, but I think that he deserves it. And we but I could dinner ye pa. Park the princess the old man, aging like a fine wine. Manonoya. One day on Unsuni, you look at a year expected chance of face year now, expected goals of face year 1.86, saves year 8, and look at goals prevented 0.86. Manonoya, he also stood in and make sure, say, regardless whatever will be thrown at him, obey a management team, the mighty Mavena by Yamini. And I think the goalkeepers need more money. And then you want say if you are going to mention the best goalkeepers in the world currently, I want me more Mudi Abrabi more and so and they did well. Kogu Vincent Company Chilesa Juman was here and were to a level that he needs to maintain. To get to the top on your day, to maintain being at the top any idea. Kogu and no time will deal red card. If you are playing against Paris Saint-Germain, you can't prevent them from creating chances.
Yeah.
And so no more bona outside the red card. I will get dying on memoir safa. So it takes a man. I will name the team and name the players and know how to assign new roles. Because immediately when your red card will team back, what system will be assessed. So you need to get another one and tell your players, let them reshape themselves and get the job done. And yesterday he did that. At a point in time now, go on the crowd by. Still, you could see somebody minute for no more giving you one. They were trying to make sure that they are keeping their shape and they are doing everything humanly possible to take all the points away. You were November on. Or my peaking in terms of that is the only thing. Because last season, by this time, near about 4 matches here. Now, Paris Saint-Germain at also 20 feet out of 36 a year teams about Champions League. It is a Saturday last season now. Now, much chance to Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah. It is all say, see, I born now, yeah, bono. And a performance now, by a minute, then a year. If you are to use performance too much in a year, which of course, I have very little of a sample size, you can say they are the best team in Europe. Champions League, they can win it hands down. Though still, I still believe Sebastian have a chance. But don't have performance no more than they play now. They are doing this without one of their best players in their team. Musiala is out of the team.
Yeah.
Number 3, Guerrero as one is out of the team. Musiala and Kwaya the one. And look at their front four now. So Lise Ebo, Nabri Ebo, Luis Diaz Ebo, na Hurricane Ebo. But look at the performance they give. And they are the only team.
Jackson.
They are the only team who they can decide to rest players and still come and deliver. Go back and check last weekend. Boy, rested a lot of players. And idea what Bayern Munich, single time will be if they are doing wonders. Yes, I do. If you are Liverpool and you are Arsenal, now about Champions League against Bayern Munich, you can't rest players. When you are playing against Aston Villa, when you are playing against Everton, you are playing against Chelsea, you can't rest players. Because the Premier League game, how are tough? Call Spain, Barcelona, you can't rest players, sir, because you need to bring out the best. No more koye human information. And then a coup Inter Milan. When Paris Saint-Germain rest players for the Champions League, now Inter Milan the same sort of players.
So the league.
So what you say? But if you look at Germany league, you know, some say you say that so sir, or sign of players in abundance. So yeah, their team is not about Bundesliga. About the Champions, they can rest players and still get the results. And that's the advantage.
Now, Canonama, Nelson Comfort, Dean Common, or the Arsenal. Arsenal, so team no meeting me arrested from goalkeeper. Who could see the final player or pitch and so. Still, squad quality no show.
We've not seen them doing it.
But that man, no, we was all rested squad no. The do na crown or be musu prepare near the identity. And then they knew
Team Bena, Arsenal, no boy and run. Slavia Praha.
Yeah.
You can't in any way compare them to the defending champions of the champions.
I agree.
But if you look at the luxury, any players that were at Bayern Munich deciding to rest players and go into a game again against Bayern Munich, now players in Krana. Bet me dan minimum on a Frankfurt ball, on a Stuttgart ball. Bet me dan minimum. As now players need to be brave. But are the players going to give the same output as the first team players? That is what I'm asking.
Beba, say, I'm a Champions League night. Say, be all quasi amao. Team yo baby I the old crew. Oze, and they do a deal nyane pepe. But Champions League the ubi obebu bi ano ya the old crew now about. It is last I will club with cable come go for na teachers for the as be moji score ya na so by ya the no about. Do to make cancer as a nature. What is it? Ze Arsenal bebo ebi on the day so one for Raya the keeper beba be dem na ebia amfa Saliba mo obebo ayi Spain akra Mosquera ebia obobo no be team the Pierre Henkapi aba be shema man kebe ma guys akonche na ode small boy na aba bebo free bo first Luis Kelly ama Julian Timba aba nchen kakra na ebia ode Ben White akwa kugina amfi ono me maintaining rade na ebia ma yi rice edina film ebia mebo no guard na maboy tan one night only the event and one night
Nigeria for say they didn't one night what England for the one night
no maybe am ball no na mfi ono me hwe na ebi enye we a metima sa pay other player bi na ba be share in fifio maybe a front free no me the ezabo na ma ball ayi Leandro Trossard na mama Saka kwa akose ayi nchen kakra the America what you say ebi omo prepare ni nyina akra ba asa akra kan yi Martin Odegaard afi so sa squad we Arsenal be team the omo league a team bi bebre go England
we mejitum but the toughness the league you know me you know the way me you know na but be our luxury to rest players more no be definitely be the Bundesliga. Arsenal players in the BBA but in the Premier League how often